Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? Black Clover, man. I honestly didn't know what to expect if this episode was gonna drag on for two, or not until we got towards Asta and our girl running in. I think she's probably my favorite girl. The healer is my favorite. I always love me a good healer. Not to mention she's pretty and really powerful as well now. So she's got everything going for her. Not to mention um, she likes the right person. So I wouldn't mind seeing that, but seeing how Noelle is really into him too, that would definitely be a rough pick. So I want to see how that ends up. But overall, this week we literally get to see Asta cutting flaming arrows being shot out of a catapult, out of a rock catapult with rock string and everything. So this man not only reacts to some things that are just at ridiculous speed because of ki, he's also reacting to things that are not even necessarily flying towards him in the sense of an attack, but actually flying towards a whole different object. So he has to account for the trajectory and making sure that none of those things get past him and actually hit it. So, like, Asta is absolutely disgustingly nuts when it comes down just to honestly being on point and hitting stuff like this. But he somehow still gets outstaged and outclassed by this new guy who I don't know who or why they were talking trash about this week's episode. They were saying something about this person not having a real personality and stuff. But his real personality is Hisoka. This man is literally Hisoka inside of Black Clover. Okay, so what Hisoka does is pretty much beat you to the edge of your life at times and leaves you be because not only will you remember what you did to them, and I mean he's pretty much putting hold on. He's pretty much putting a lot of information and a lot of disconfidence in people. Like he's instilling it in them by the way he's talking down upon them and literally beating the crap to make them understand that he's not just talking, he's also walking the walk. So we're watching this man straight just beat the crap out of all three of these guys, and then unlucky for the guy who was protecting the crystal, he was the one that was going to get more of the torment from a mental standpoint than actual physical one. So it's stuff like that that kind of makes you curious to why his character is so against these knights and stuff like that. I mean, just by looking at his body, all of these bandages and stuff could be something hiding scars and like the guy off the Golden Dawn, the captain who wears the helmet because people just really didn't see his face and think he was someone to be trusted or not to be trusted. But he's been through a lot. Like his whole face and head has been hurt a lot, and he still walks around with much confidence as if nothing happened. So to see another character like that showing up with, but this time with mass all over his mouth, neck, and like shoulders, it kind of gives you this expectation that maybe there is something more behind why he looks like that. When we already had a character that had a very similar reasoning to why he was wearing something. But that's just me taking a guess at it. But the whole thing with his personality and him also being this Hisoka like just not, I was gonna say Hisoka clone, but he's not, because Hisoka would have killed a lot of these people for not being as strong as he would want them to be, instead of letting them live and getting a chance to fight another day. But with just how his demeanor is, like, imagine if he actually wanted to fight Asta, like he could have, but he clearly knows that he's his teammate, he's got to hold back, but he's still doing things that are, annoying, and he's shooting like farting gas in Asta's face. He's doing all these things that won't necessarily get him kicked off the team and disqualified, but he still clearly is just against all Magic Knights, which he called this thing an exam, and this is actually something to go out and help the kingdom. This is something that not even the captains themselves are getting tested on, because they're probably going to be needed regardless of whoever makes it out of this. So it's those types of things that give you the expectation of whatever comes next should continuously grow and grow the narrative, and should grow and grow our expectations of these battles. So what they do with this character, who I feel like is Hisoka incarnate, is give them something that all characters who like to talk the most trash, who like to show off the most, like attitude and stuff like that, they always give them some type of beautiful, beautiful ways of countering. And for Hisoka, it was his bungee gum, and he could pretty well, in this game anyway, they show it as him holding up the gum, and then if you run into him and hit while he has it like that, it would react and he gets to cut you in the neck. But what this game did was kind of smart and kind of not the way it was supposed to be intended. And I mean, it wasn't shown the way that they're showing it in the game, that it happened in the anime, because in the anime, it could actually catch projectiles. It was catching the coins, and once he caught all the coins, he could like shoot them back at any time he wanted. But they kind of used that animation because it was so iconic to what Hisoka did, and then they just added the cue of how he killed the person when he uses that stance that he made. So very smart, but definitely, because when he comes down with that, when he jumps over the person and cuts him in the throat with both of his cards, he really is supposed to be coming down from trees and suspended by gum holding him up, and he comes down upside down and cuts him. So they did really cool on that, and I think that's where these they like to talk so much trash and they need the counters, because he's acting like he's sleeping, right? He's talked all this trash, he's made all these people mad already by messing with the Wizard King, and clearly he's had some history with Magic Knights, because I feel like he knew by jumping up there and quote unquote being late and messing a little bit with the Wizard King, it was going to at least give some people a worse fighting opportunity, because they might not be thinking so much about winning as much as getting revenge on him, which one of the fire people actually was. I thought someone like joined the fight when I saw Gone just then. Holy crap. Yeah, so it's that interesting part of the show for me, that whenever they kind of just dabble with what new characters can do, this guy in particular, by setting one trap for Asta to stand in that was like a paralysis, and of course Asta didn't know about it, and he is just bodied by it. But he sets that up because it was the only way to actually trigger his other counter spell at that moment, or something along those lines, or because that spell was active, it had his counter one had a much easier time of activating afterwards. So it's a very interesting way to look at it. Like, he might literally have to hit someone, or he might actually have to trick his own teammates into taking the fall like that for his counter spell to work. Or I think he more or less did that to Asta because it was a good way to get everybody to attack simultaneously. They think they all have the upper hand, and then what do? You turn the table on them, So it definitely was more of a tactical strategy from him, but at the same time, he is such a weird character because he's telling us he doesn't want to win and he doesn't care about winning, but you're telling me if you don't want to win and you don't care about winning, but you're setting up a trap that far into the match and you're, doing a triple counter to all the people to win it, and it's just an interesting way to look at how he's going about doing things throughout this week's episode, and I really enjoy them trying to bring another character along that definitely can get under Asta's skin in the worst of ways now, but at the same time, I don't think Austin knows that he compliments him every time. like, like he almost compliments him every single time in this episode when he's yelling at him. Besides like jerk and stuff, but he's like, "Get back here, jerk, with your cool mask." He really thinks that he's doing something. So honestly, another character that I can truly see joining the Black Bulls, because I mean, there shouldn't be any other team that he should quote unquote join. The way he treats Magic Knights and the way that he actually acts, he is a delinquent. He is someone who, um, is quote unquote frowned upon to be looking up to in the Clover Kingdom. If this is how he treats his own people, I would hate to see how he treats someone he actually wants to destroy, or someone he actually want. Like we saw it. That's why he's rocking the purple thing around him. He wanted to destroy those people after they like launched their attacks. They got so hurt. They're not even in these fights. I don't know if they were allowed to join these fights, but if they were, they ain't coming. But yeah, overall, my anime people, amazing, amazing episode. If this video, well, actually no, because not a lot of people watch it. It kind of works better when it's like slime or something everybody watches on the channel. But I was gonna say, if this video got like 4 likes, I could try to get out some announcement video that I wanted to do, but I don't know if anybody wants to see that. I might just drop it later, or like as soon as I can or something, because there's a lot of really dope anime coming out, and I don't think I have all of them that I know for sure. So I kind of wanted to have a video to open up the line of field for everybody to kind of just throw in any shows that they want for to be on the channel and for me to review and stuff like that, so I can look up like the synopsis and see what it's about and stuff like that. So I thought that would be really cool just to see who actually wants to see different content, or because I'm going to put out there what games you want to see in the background, because I'll give you a list of a couple games I got, and then not to mention I will have all the shows that I'm already going to for sure talk about, and then I want to hear what you guys want to see on the channel. So with all that being said, I will drop that video today for sure, because Shield Heroes coming out tomorrow, and I don't think the Gambler show is going to come out on time like usual. So if that does come out on time on usual, I'll definitely get that out as soon as possible as well. But until our gambling waifu anime comes up, I will try to get some other content out to you guys today. So with that being said, have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case it may be when you're watching this, and I will talk to you in the next one. Alright, my anime people. Peace.